10 minutes explaining the story of Where Winds Meet. The story takes place during the 5 Dynasties and 10 Kingdoms period. The later Jin Emperor Shi Jinping, in his bid to overthrow the later Tang, ceded the 16 prefectures of Yan and Yun to the Khitans. He then used Khitan forces to destroy the later Tang and established the later Jin. This act left the Central Plains with no natural defenses. Soon after, the Khitans turned on the later Jin and launched the kingdom-ending Battle of Zhangdu Bridge. In this battle, the renowned General Wang Qing, the protagonist's father, receiving no support from the main army, died fighting at Zhangdu Bridge. Before his death, in order to save his 19-year-old son, Jiang Yan, later known as Uncle Jiang, he lied, saying there was a sturdy carriage in the distance that could help them escape to send Jiang Yan away. When Jiang Yan turned back, he found that General Wang Qing had long since died and had been transformed into a Meng Kui. To free General Wang Qing from his torment, Jiang Yan killed him in front of the others. Those unaware of the truth mistakenly believed Jiang Yan was a traitor. This leads to the game's opening scene. Jiang Yan, carrying the infant male protagonist, flees from enemy pursuit and eventually reaches a place called Qinghe. Then, 16 years later, the protagonist grows up under the care of Jiang Yan and Han Yi. By this time, the later Jin has long fallen, replaced by the later Zhou regime. And Jiang Yan is now 35 years old, the man we call Uncle Jiang. One day, Uncle Jiang receives a mysterious letter. It says that a Meng Kui disaster has erupted around Nantong. Meng Kui are slaughtering commoners everywhere. The letter mentions General Wang Qing being turned into a Meng Kui. Uncle Jiang has always been troubled by this matter and has been secretly investigating the truth all these years. Hearing there's a lead, he doesn't hesitate. He leaves the male protagonist behind and heads to Nantong. This is why he's absent from both Qinghe County and Kaifeng County. This leads to the game's opening scene. 3 years later, the protagonist arrives at Uncle Jiang's old home. He encounters a figure in black. The black-clad figure snatches the protagonist's jade pendant, but doesn't harm him. We later learn this figure in black is Uncle Jiang. He took the pendant to protect the protagonist because this pendant is a crucial item the final boss wants to obtain. Then, following the main story, we accompany little Hongxian to the general's shrine. After paying respects at the stone statue of General Wang Qing, we go to Buxian County. Here, we meet the protagonist's adoptive mother, Han Yi. Why is Han Yi the protagonist's adoptive mother? It's rather absurd. When Uncle Jiang first arrived in Buxian County, he was short on money. In exchange for a bottle of Liren tears, Jiang Shan pawned the infant male protagonist to Han Yi, making him work for Han Yi when he grew up to repay the debt. Thus, Han Yi became the protagonist's adoptive mother. Han Yi's true identity is also formidable. On the surface, she is the proprietress of a tavern. In reality, she is Luo Shen, the world's top-ranked master of disguise, capable of altering appearances. Han Yi and Tian Bushou, a doctor at the Living Person Clinic, operate a face-changing business beneath the clinic's well. From Han Yi's ledger, we learn a single transaction is worth 1,000 taels of gold. No wonder our young master lives like a rich second generation. Then, our Brother Blade makes his entrance. From passing travelers, we learn Brother Blade's nickname is Dead Man's Blade, a ruthless man who kills without blinking. Then, Brother Blade right in front of him kills 2 strangers. He demands the protagonist take him to find Han Yi. The protagonist mistakenly thinks this man is here to cause trouble for Han Yi. He leads him to a fog-shrouded ghost temple. The protagonist escapes in the chaos and returns to Buxian County. He intends to tell Han Yi about this, but finds Han Yi is not there. So he goes to the living person clinic looking for Han Yi. He unintentionally finds the secret chamber under the well. There, he sees a group of faceless people. From a strange dream, he learns about a secret event. Back when the later Jin Emperor Shi Jingtang ceded the 16 prefectures to the Khitans, a group of operatives from the Yanbei alliance approached Han Yi. They wanted her to change their faces so they could infiltrate the Khitans with false identities and coordinate with the later Jin army to recover the lost territories. However, some operatives' face-changing procedures failed, and they became horrifically disfigured, faceless people. To avoid exposing the plan, they chose to remain quietly underground, waiting until the day the 16 prefectures were recovered. But history records the Yan Yun territories were only recovered 400 years later, so they spent their entire lives in the sunless underground. Now, knowing the truth, do you regret fighting and killing them earlier? Not finding Han Yi under the well? The protagonist returns to Han Yi's residence. There, he runs into Brother Blade again. It turns out Brother Blade pretended to be fooled by the protagonist and followed him back here, a true veteran of the martial world. Just then, a flying dart shoots into the room. After the two fight off the assailants, Brother Blade intentionally lets one escape. They follow the escapee to the bandits' hideout. Here, the protagonist still suspects Brother Blade is not a good person, so he turns around and betrays Brother Blade. While Brother Blade holds off the bandits, the protagonist infiltrates the backyard and rescues Little Hong Xian and the others. This leads to the first boss battle. As the boss is about to strike, Han Yi arrives just in time, saving both the protagonist and Brother Blade. The misunderstanding is cleared up. It turns out Brother Blade and Han Yi are old acquaintances. Back in Bushen County, Brother Blade explains the purpose of his visit to Han Yi. He was entrusted by Han Yi's old friend, Chu Chuanqian, to retrieve a secret that Uncle Jiang left with the protagonist. He also informs Han Yi of Chu Chuanqian's death. Han Yi replies that she doesn't know, then leaves the room, visibly saddened. The next day, the protagonist seeks out Brother Blade, apologizing for his previous actions. They share a drink and become friends. Just as Brother Blade is telling the protagonist the story of Han Yi and Chu Chuanqian, notorious assassins from the Shoujin Tower launch an attack on the unarmed villagers. The Shoujin Tower attack occurs just as Brother Blade is about to tell the protagonist the story behind the secret. It seemed that they also want this secret. Their goal is probably to eliminate the protagonist and anyone protecting him, like Brother Blade, to seize the secret for themselves. Brother Blade and the protagonist rush back to help. Joining forces with other skilled fighters in the village, they take down many attackers. The experienced Brother Blade immediately recognizes the leader as the Shoujin Tower's enchantress, Qian Ye. She excels at killing using spell arrays and illusions. He points out that to break the array, someone outside the formation needs to show them a clear path. Everyone must break out in that direction. Ignoring the protagonist's attempts to stop her, Little Hong Xian uses a secret passage to get outside the town. Using her red cloak, she points the way for everyone. At that moment, the enchantress Qian Ye orders a volley of arrows aimed at Hong Xian's location. She then personally fires an arrow. Seeing the first arrow didn't hit its mark, she fires another, until Hong Xian falls to the ground. The protagonist arrives, enraged, vowing to avenge Hong Xian. After a fierce battle, Brother Blade, the protagonist, and Qian Ye all fall into a cellar. The two men join forces to fight the enchantress. Just as they are about to strike the final blow, a group of Shoujin Tower assassins descends from above. The situation instantly reverses. 2 against 1 becomes 2 against dozens. Seeing the fight as hopeless, they begin drinking wine and reciting poetry, laughing in the face of death. In this moment, they seem like two close friends who found each other too late. The outcome: Brother Blade, to save the protagonist, dies in battle. In the critical moment, a figure in red rescues the protagonist. As the storyteller says, if you wish to know what happens next, listen to the next installment. The story pauses here for now. Did Little Hong Xian die or not? Where did Han Yi go after the great battle? When will Uncle Jiang return? And what is the truth behind General Wang Qing's death back then? We can only wait for Where Winds Meet to update further. Well, that's all for this episode. See you in the next one.